Okay, the Brits have $58 to spend. They're going to spend $11 in the Pacific on 2 artillery and an infantry. They're going to spend $15 on an air base, $20 on 2 fighters, and $12 on a new cruiser. They will be declaring 3 attacks this round. One's a walk-in, but the other 2 do need to be rolled. First and foremost, the 3 fighters in the UK are going to be going after the destroyer in Sea Zone 125. Down in Africa, the mechanized infantry in French Equatorial Africa is going to swing over and retake French West Africa from the Germans who swung down there earlier. The only other battle is in Shan State, and the Brits are going to come in with 1 infantry and 1 fighter into Shan State, so we'll see if they can take that territory. Okay, we'll set up the rolls. It's the battle for Sea Zone 125. The German destroyer Z5 Paul Jacobi is being attacked by 3, and we can now reveal it, jet fighters for the British. So they attack at 4. That is the tech that the British chose for themselves. So 3 4s versus a 2. So let's roll these. 1 hit. Jesus, that's pretty terrible. Miss. Okay, so the British clear the sea zone and the destroyer is killed. Okay, in the battle for Shan State, the Brits are coming in with an infantry at 1 and a jet fighter at 4. Hit with the jet. Japanese do get to defend, and the British do not take the territory, which is disappointing. They will lose the infantry and they will retreat the jets. So the Japanese keep Shan State, but they lose the infantry that was there. Okay, the 3 fighters in Sea Zone 125 are going to land back in the UK. Down in the Med, all of the Navy in Sea Zone 81 is going to move into Sea Zone 98. The infantry and the artillery in French Equatorial Africa are going to move into Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. And way, way, way down there in South Africa, the 2 infantry and the tank are going to be railed 3 to Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. Over here in Persia, the 2 infantry and the artillery are going to be moved into Iraq. The tank is going to go from Persia to West India. All of the forces in Burma, with the exception of 1 infantry, are going to be moving back into India. And the fighter that participated in the Shan State attack will be also landing back in India again. I think that's it. I think that's all the movement. So we'll tidy this up and be back in a sec. Okay, placements for the UK. Their brand new air base is going into Egypt. Their 2 new fighters are going into Egypt. And their new cruiser is going into Egypt. So a rather formidable naval presence in Egypt currently. Oh, that's really blurry. Is that better? There it goes. Okay, sorry. So yeah, all of that stuff is going into Egypt. The other placements are going into Calcutta, India. We are going to place 1 infantry and 2 more artillery in India. Oh, one other thing, just really quickly, I did add 1 non-combat move. I moved 1 infantry from Egypt into Alexandria. So that's there. Okay. All right. Let's do income. I have to pause this for a second because I have to figure out a couple of things. Okay, sorry. Income. They took French West Africa away from the Germans, and it doesn't go back to the French because France doesn't have a capital right now, so they do actually gain $1 on the income chart. So if we go over to the income chart, we will take $1 off the Germans from 36 to 35, and we will give $1 to the Brits from 34 to 35. So they have a base income of $35. They're going to get $5 for the national objective of holding Transjordan, Egypt, and Alexandria, at least for this turn. And then they're going to get $2 each for their three Middle East holdings, Persia, Northwest Persia, and Iraq. Now, there is, however, so that's $35, $40, $42, $44, $46, but there is a convoy happening. So we'll roll that. It's one sub. Now it's going to get one regardless, but it can get up to, I think it's up to 7 or 8. Up to 8, theoretically. Although actually I think the highest it can get is 6. So let's roll these. That's 5. Okay, so the UK is going to lose $5 from its income. And so instead of having 35, 40, 46, it's going to have $41. All right, I have to turn the camera off for a sec because the battery's dying, but I'll be back in a minute with disposition of forces. Okay, let's do the UK disposition of forces. In the UK proper, in the capital, there are 18 infantry, 3 fighters, 1 mechanized infantry, and 3 anti-aircraft artillery, along with a French fighter, a Canadian artillery, a Canadian tank, and 2 Canadian infantry. In the Med, well, actually we should do French West Africa first. French West Africa, there is a mechanized infantry. In Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, there are 3 infantry, 1 tank, and 1 artillery. In Egypt, there are 3 infantry, 2 artillery, 1 tactical bomber, and 3 fighters. In Alexandria, there's an infantry. And in C-Zone, I always forget what this is, 98, there is a battleship, 2 cruisers, 2 destroyers, and 2 transports. In Iraq, there are 2 infantry and an artillery. Moving east. In West India, there is a tank. In India, there are 7 infantry, 6 artillery, 3 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 tank, and 1 fighter. In Burma, there is 1 infantry. And I believe that does it for the British units on the board. So, Italy's going to be up next. We'll see what they end up doing. I suspect they're going to continue to press towards Cairo, but we'll see. They also have a fair number of units up in Slovakia, Hungary, so we'll see if they make use of those.